Yeah, live, man. This thing working right? Yeah, we'll see. 8:57. Let's just kick it. Let's just kick it. You know what I'm saying? 35 degrees out. Wow, that's cold. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Where's my invite? Mark Crocker, Pirate Radio. Let's see here. Let's see here. Paste it. Display it. Let's kick it. I'm going to just see what's happening. You know what I'm saying? I am off the wagon. Here's to every miserable day I was on it. The women are about ready to get better looking. I got my smoker all ready for tomorrow. Checking my list and checking it twice. This damn thing working or not? How can there be 22 people on here and nobody's talking? Hey, Allie, how you doing? Oh, yeah, where you been this whole time? Yeah, Daisy's been a little under the weather for a couple days. Oh, what's going on? It gets that reverse sneezing, but never lasts this long. Would you take a hiatus? Life goes south on you? What happened? Want to know where you been? You want to come up? Hey, Steph. I posted a link up there. Let's just get out and kick it, you know what I'm saying? I was gone for about a year myself. Break on through to the other side. Oh, yeah. There's Michelle coming on. Hey, Michelle.
Hey.
Getting cold here tonight.
Yes.
28. Pretty cold for Georgia. It is. Hey, Troubles, how you doing? Here's Stephanie.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you? How are you, Michelle?
Good. How are you, Stephanie?
Oh, I'm good. Hey, I saw your video. Do you do Uber, Michelle?
Yeah, I've been doing Uber lately. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that video you made. You were delivering food or something. Uber Eats, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's Uber Eats. I do a couple different delivery services right now. And there's
Oh,
also Amazon Flex. And
oh,
Amazon Flex, you go to the warehouse and you're basically like an Amazon driver, but you do it
Hey,
not.
Brian. I didn't get that info yet, by the way.
right. I've had Amazon deliveries by people in regular cars before.
Yeah, those are Amazon Flex drivers.
I see. I
Yep.
see.
Yep.
Huh.
So what's going on with the virgin births and child support?
Well, you know, the virgin birth, of course, you're familiar with that, right? You know, Jesus was a
Yeah.
virgin. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I was in Barnes and Noble today, and there was a lady there looking through the religious section, and she just so happened to be ahead of me in line, and she was checking out, and we were bullshitting about things, and virgin births came up. She was telling me she worked at this convent one time a long time ago,
Uh-huh.
and there were these retired nuns that lived there as well, and there were like a group of them that went on like a tour in some different countries, and it was an attempt to document other virgin births. And she said that they had like 12, but she couldn't give me any details.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
So then who pays the child support?
Yeah,
for
that's what I
virgin
want to know.
births?
That's what I want to know. And
Yeah.
not only that, I've never heard of any other accounts of virgin birth. Have you?
No, maybe my stomach's getting big. Maybe
It could be.
maybe I should go check if I'm pregnant. Have a virgin birth. Oh, that's
hoping
so
for one.
ridiculous.
Yeah, but I'm wondering. I've never heard of another account of a virgin birth other than the Jesus story. Have you?
No, Tom, no. Absolutely not.
You know, I'm a little
That
rusty on my Christianity, but I do read a lot about it still, even though I don't live an active Christian lifestyle. You know, Mary and Joseph weren't married when they conceived Jesus. And there's nothing written anywhere about how Mary was viewed as being pregnant and not married. Isn't that odd considering the times?
Yeah, that is odd.
Yeah, I mean, this has never really occurred to me.
There were a lot, actually, in the Bible. There were a lot of people in the Bible who had lots of different things. It wasn't just all like one man, one wife, the type of situation in the Christian world. Some men could have multiple wives, and there were a lot of different scenarios.
Well, I don't doubt that, but this virgin birth, I mean, this is a whole nother level of believing this.
Well, you got to believe. The thing is, Tom,
There's no virgin births anywhere.
I've had
No.
I've had way too many things happen in my life for me not to believe.
Yeah, name me
So I
something that
feel
ranks
bad.
up there. Yeah,
I
give me an
feel
example of something that's on the level of a virgin birth.
I know. No, it's so ridiculous. They waste time investigating that.
I put it right up there with Bigfoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
I know.
UFOs.
You know what, Tom, to be honest with you, I've seen so many things that just didn't make sense in my life
Yeah, I have
that
too. But I mean,
to not have certain faiths and stuff and something like I don't know. I just gotta tell you, like it's one of those things. It's like you either believe or you don't believe, and if you don't believe, you don't believe. I
no,
mean,
but it should
that's
be,
fine too.
but it's like anything else. You believe it based on logic. And if you
Well,
believe one, why don't you believe in more? And if you know of more, give me some examples.
I mean,
I mean,
stuff like
virgin
that could
births. I
put
mean, come on.
stuff like
Yeah.
that stuff like that could put people in jeopardy, though,
Yes.
too, to expose certain things. So,
Suppose certain thing like what? The truth?
like anything, sometimes people just want to live a private life and not you know.
To me, it's somebody who wants attention. Come on. No, virgin birth, no.
Yeah, no one would believe
It's,
that.
oh, no, it's so ridiculous. Come on.
And it's like,
It's not logical. Yeah, you're right. It's
and
not.
homosexuality being just a bad habit that you picked up.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes
Yeah.
on and on. Hugging and forgiving the people that killed your loved ones, forgiving them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking in tongues. I mean, if it wasn't set up to that, you know what I was talking about, you'd think I was just like losing my mind. But yet it's something that you show up every Sunday for believing. And interests me.
You either believe it or you don't. I mean, like, you can't sit there and make a non-believer believe, because they're never going to believe it, because in their mind, they think
No,
that
but
it's
shouldn't it be based on, why don't you believe in UFOs then, if you're going to believe in that?
why not? I'm sure there's probably a UFO somewhere. Who knows? I'm not going to worship a
No, I'm
UFO
down in Georgia.
though. They're called drones now. Unidentified flying objects. We're going to call them drones.
No, that's not a drone. An unidentified flying object is not a drone. I mean, it could be, but it probably isn't.
Yeah, but it could be an unidentified flying object. Could be anything.
Yeah, it could be. That's exactly right.
It could be. Either
But I
way.
don't think it's like spaceships and stuff. Do you, Stephanie? Stephanie?
Oh yeah. Now this is Tom. There's finally a subject that we kind of disagree on. Now, when you think about space, okay, billions and billions of miles and planets, and to me, we are not the only planet in the whole, infinity of space that has life.
That's no, but anything within this galaxy, it would take you 73 million light years to fly to the next galaxy.
Oh no, that's true, Tom. Yes, we will never know. Because there's so many, millions and millions of miles. We'll never know. But I believe, there's probably other planets with some form of life, but we'll never live to see it because we can't get there and they can't get here.
Do you think space is infinite?
Yes, I do.
No end. No end.
I that's what I think, and I'm not that much. I have no knowledge. I haven't read on it. I just believe, that there's no end. And then, when there's something where there's no end, there's got to be something else going on somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But the UFO thing, I don't know if I believe, because I don't believe that's, like you said, how from a different galaxy they could get here,
Right.
and still be alive. That part.
Yeah.
And there's never been any real true, we've seen all these stupid videos people make of seeing a UFO and all that stuff. And I love those kind of movies too. But I don't think there's really truly ever been a UFO here. No.
No. How about Bigfoot?
Oh, well, Bigfoot. Yeah, I'm from Washington. I mean, we have a whole town that is dedicated to Bigfoot here. That's another story. You want to believe in it because it's fun, but there's never been any true real true evidence. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I like to believe in Bigfoot because I think it's fun. I watch Bigfoot movies too. So, but no, I have to see the actual proof on something. I'm one of those kind of people.
I don't see, like, I was like, at one point, like, especially like with the Christian faith and everything, when I grew up, because I didn't grow up strictly, we didn't go to church every Sunday. It just wasn't a thing. Mainly because of, that's just how my family decided to raise us. And so I always had questions because a lot of people were part of that group. And I always ventured out because I was interested in all of this. And I have to tell you, since I've lived my life, I've seen things happen to people and miracles happen that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, give me a fucking example.
Give
me an example of a miracle.
I've seen many.
Yeah, give me one.
I've seen many.
Well, give me one.
I've seen people come back from death.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
Where?
Well, that happens. Yeah, that's happened.
They were clinically dead.
I've seen
clinically dead. Yeah.
Yeah, they came back.
Yeah, but I'm talking about buried for a week and then coming back.
I've seen people like I've just seen like way too many weird shit. It's too much like that it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't
But
make sense.
that's different than a miracle.
What would you describe a miracle, Tom?
Miracle would be like they buried you for a week, and then the guy was cutting grass and heard someone banging. That would be a miracle, wouldn't it?
That would be a miracle, Tom.
Yeah.
Okay, is there something else that you would describe as a miracle?
Let's see. Something else I would describe as a miracle. I would say like
Would you say somebody getting cured from a disease, would that be a miracle?
it could be.
Yeah, I mean that's
But I mean,
pretty
lots of people are cured from disease, and it isn't a miracle. And most people with 4-stage diagnoses with cancer all die.
They don't all die.
Most of them do 4-stage.
Not all of them.
Yeah,
So would you
most of them do,
describe
though.
that? Would you describe that as a miracle? That the people
No,
who had stage 4?
I describe it as early intervention. They caught it through like an MRI or an X-ray in a car accident, and then realized something was going on, and then stopped it.
Yeah, the medicine. Yeah.
Area 51 is just a joke. That's just all media hype bullshit. If you really read about it, you'll have a hard time not busting out laughing.
Oh
Hey,
yeah, I know. I like I like those movies about it, but yeah, I don't.
Yeah, where are the bones? Where's the DNA? Why are there never any good trail cam shots? Any babies run over? Any skeletons?
I know,
It just
especially
goes
Tom.
nuts.
I know, especially nowadays, the way photography is.
Yeah.
Why can't somebody really hone in on a UFO?
Same with the
It's always-
Loch Ness Monster. More crazy.
Oh yeah, that's another one, Loch Ness Monster. They just live on the hype like we do with Bigfoot.
I think the government hides stuff. That Area 51, if you read up on it, it's just such a weak, stupid story. You know, just because somebody doesn't find something that's damning doesn't mean it was a cover-up. There's lots of places the government doesn't want you to go, but they just ran with that on these crazy hand-me-down stories. I don't believe it. I mean, maybe it could have been, but I mean, of all these incidents worldwide, show me some real, legitimate, documentable proof of extraterrestrials anywhere.
Yeah, or a UFO, a picture of a UFO where you can really tell what it is.
Yeah, or Bigfoot. Why is and everybody, you know, it's legal to shoot anything indigenous. So you could shoot Bigfoot if you saw them hunting. Why hasn't anybody done that?
Oh, I know.
I mean, it just goes on. This is just like being on mushrooms your whole fucking life.
Well, Tom, remember when you had your Bigfoot costume?
Yeah, so people want to believe in it.
We could put you out in the woods and take a picture.
I still have it, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, God. I got a picture of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So, Todd, I was wondering, have you ever prayed ever, or do you just not believe, so you don't?
No, I think it's a total and complete waste of time.
Okay.
Well, one time I couldn't find my DVD of Debbie Does Dallas, and I looked for 3 days.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and I prayed.
And it was a miracle.
Because I found it.
It was a miracle. You found it.
Yeah. Now, I mean, it's like I rank it right up there with Ouija boards, tarot cards. Yeah, and I know, and I know 2 guys that spent a lifetime in religion. That doesn't make them experts, but if you got them aside and you got to know them well, they thought that examples of prayer was just absurd that they'd heard in their own sermons from people after church. I think it can branch off into a form of mental illness.
I think that I've met people who came back from being what you call clinically dead.
Oh, here we go.
And they said that they've seen Jesus.
Oh yeah.
those are nuts.
I've
That's what
heard those
everybody.
There's a
stories
lot of
too.
people. A lot of
They
people.
see the light. They see,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, they
Yeah.
see like like they start seeing like a figure. A lot of people who came back from being.
but doctors say that's your brain
hmm
that's
It's just
doing
like a
that.
nightmare. It's just like waking up from a nightmare and you think, oh my God, glad I was dreaming.
Right. Right.
And there are, occasions like where people are clinically dead and that kind of thing, where they, their heart quits beating look at people that drowned, in
Yeah.
cold water. I mean, there are
Yeah.
examples. But
Yeah.
if you take like legitimately, these people like coming back from dead, like, buried and that kind of thing. And once in a while, you'll find someplace like in India, everything crazy happens there. When a train crashes, it's not like 3 people that died, like over here in an Amtrak, it's 3,000.
Right.
When when 2 boats run into each other in the night, it's like a million. I mean, things different over there, man. It's just crazy the amount of people. When a flood hits there, they're looking for 500,000 people.
Where?
India,
Oh,
it's just different,
I don't mean to laugh, but it's just so funny. So I'm talking about India.
I was like, where's this happen? Like he's talking about. I'm like, where's? I don't know. I was like, maybe I'm out of the loop.
No, I'm just talking about over there, the crazy shit that happens.
Yeah.
you know?
Well, Tom, what do you think of the Bermuda Triangle?
Oh yeah, that's.
Well, I'll tell you. Well, I used to be worried about that too. But if you take the chance to look at the space that covers,
Uh-huh.
I mean, this isn't, if the Bermuda Triangle was like 3 square miles,
Uh-huh.
I'd charter that boat around that motherfucker every time.
Take me.
Yeah, but it's huge. If you look at that vast of area anywhere, there, someplace else in the world, yeah,
Uh-huh.
shit stinks and you never see it again. Just happened
Yeah,
to some
that's
Georgia
true.
fishermen back in the fall.
Yeah, that's true.
But I
They'd
don't
never
think anything
find
comes
it.
up there and swallows you. People get lost. They go the wrong way. They run out of fuel.
Yeah.
It happened to that group of warbirds in Florida around World War II. I think they got lost and flew east instead of west and ran out of fuel. And, the ocean is so like vast. I mean, look at the stuff that's out there that they couldn't find, Hey,
Yeah.
SLV, how you doing? And like SLV, people, they know what people want to believe.
Right, right.
And those are very trendy, interesting topics that always get the same jokers coming back.
Right.
They want to believe in this.
Oh yeah.
I think
Yeah.
something that has been going on for a very long time is something to take note and to think about, because nobody would keep something going for so long if it was completely fake.
What are you talking about?
With anything, like uh with UFO sightings, with
No,
Bigfoot,
there's
with
a huge
everything,
market for it. Go in the
with
bookstore. There's
with
magazines, there's TV
with
shows, there's
religion
specials.
too. I mean,
Religion,
like it's
fuck yeah, religion's huge business. It's the #1 publication sold worldwide, the Bible.
and there's got to be a reason why people believe it, you know.
Well, I don't say there's got to be. None of that was written down, and it wasn't even started to be compiled 1,500 years after these stories have been switched around. There are no original texts from the New Testament. None. Zero.
Do you think that maybe there's people that see things, or do you not believe in like any of that? That like
These-
people like prophets or
Yeah, horseshit. Bullshit.
visions.
I think Jesus was a prophet. I mean, my opinion, from what I can piece together, I don't know this for sure, just an opinion from everything that I've read. Mary got knocked up from an affair. She wasn't married. And he was just it was about timing's everything. And it just came out like other important world rulers and influential people, even Gandhi in a different way. It came out to, be the son of God, and bingo, there you go. They're off and running. But it
Do you
was just
believe
a
in
baby like anywhere else.
Do you
In
believe
the
in
flesh.
God?
What's
Do you
that?
believe in God?
Not like you do. I believe in it as an energy. I don't think there's suns and virgin births and walking on water and speaking in tongues. I mean, I'm not saying that's not true either. I'm just saying I think the world's a fantastic, unbelievable place, and it's the narcissism of human beings to think they should be entitled to know how we got here. At the very minimum, Christianity believes the earth 7,000 years old. Nonsense. Most of them want to argue about man sharing the earth with dinosaurs. Crazy. I mean, you look at other people like Aristotle and guys like that, Plato, Socrates. There's all sorts of shit on these guys. Documentation all over. People saw them, talked to them. You saw their work. There's theories out there that the writing of the Bible was copied out of a lot of things that Aristotle had written, which if you read it, it makes you wonder. I think Jesus was a good guy, a prophet, but I don't think he was like born out of a virgin mirth from a lady that wasn't married at the time. I think it's just like crazy talk. And you look at like other religions, Jews, Muslims. I mean, somebody's full of shit. And there's a big group of people that supposedly is going to your Christian hell because they don't think what you do. And if you look at studies with psychiatrists, as IQ rises, religion goes out the door.
Right. No, that's even like in the like because people are. It's I
Hey, Bubba. Hey,
I
Jamie.
believe that God always wanted people to get smarter. That was his plan. His plan was for people to get smarter, for people to, to help each other out, to make new inventions, to make life easier, to make medicine.
Yeah, but why did they need God?
What's that?
Well, they
Why
made the
did they?
birth control pill, didn't they?
Right. Well, not everything is not okay. Okay. Let's not everything that man makes is not everything that man makes is good.
Oh, so see,
Okay.
here's the deal. This is where it gets dicey.
It's like man makes let's see what's not good that man has made, and we all know that there's stuff that's
Other
not
human beings. Human beings. Human beings. And if you look at all these stories of sacrifice and killing things and presenting a damn lamb on a birth, it's bizarre.
It's a symbolic. It's supposed to be like a symbolic. Religion.
Adam and Eve. Explain that one.
What do you mean?
I mean, two people started out, and now we're all here, 7,000 years.
Adam and Eve. Explain that one.
So, how do you think? So that top.
I
I want to know. I want to know.
Yeah, man, I think you got a window
I
open.
want to know what you think, because I believe in that. I want to know what you think happened.
Who's got a window open?
The guy that it's whoever just came on.
Hang on a second. God damn it, he knows better than that.
Who's that?
Okay. So I want to know what you think.
What I think, I don't really know. I don't.
Right, exactly.
If I had to just summarize it, and it was the bar was getting ready to close, I'd say Big Bang.
Can you hear me?
You think
Yeah.
we just appeared?
Yeah, I do. It happens with things. Yeah, I do. It's like tornadoes and hurricanes and everything else.
No, that's different.
and I agree. Like, why do we have frogs and bald eagles if everything came from like early energy? But it's just the human beings, and they think that they should be privy to how we got where we are. Man and ape, where are they split off? Do you believe man came from ape?
No.
You don't?
No way.
Okay.
So
No way.
I was listening before I came up, and you guys started asking. Tom said the way he views God is different than the way he views.
Yeah,
God.
and it's really mine's more of like a scientific reaction.
Well, I have a question. But referring to all of that, do you possibly believe we live in a simulation?
No.
And in that regard, they claim that buildings that were really built in the early 1900s, late 1800s were already there hundreds and hundreds of years, but it's just about them making you believe what's going on, where the government and the people that run the world want you to believe what they want.
You mean like Illuminati and that stuff?
well, like the Mandela effect, where they keep trying to tell you, no, that wasn't there.
I was going to say, I saw that movie.
Yes, and then there's people that have proven that the Fruit of the Loom had a certain style basket on the underwear. The lady was told she was crazy for her to go looking through clothing to find it, even though on the timeline Fruit of the Loom removed it.
They debunked the Shroud of Turin.
Say it again.
They debunked the Shroud of Turin, the cloth Jesus was supposedly buried in that toured the world for 20 years.
Oh, wow,
Carbon-14 testing showed that was another sham.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that I'm not privy to the truth. I don't know. And I may pay a big, huge price for thinking this way someday.
Well, you can always.
I'm not switching back. It's the same crazy logic behind deathbed repentance. That you can blow up the Oklahoma building and kill all those women and kids and then get salvation on your deathbed.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I don't like
I'm not
that
doing
either.
it. I'm not doing it. And you look at like Buddhist monks and people like that don't believe in any of this shit. I just have a hard time believing that they're going to hell.
Well,
it's like the ultimate form of discrimination. You know, I happen to like girls. And if you don't, you're going to hell too in an active homosexual lifestyle. Don't buy it.
Oh, well, that depends on what religion you believe.
I'm talking about
I believe it's well, right. I agree, but they want certain churches want to alter that because they want their own belief.
Well, which ones?
I would say ones where you have a woman that's the female pastor, but
yeah, I don't
most
have
likely a lesbian.
I don't have a problem with that.
Well,
I mean, do you think being a lesbian is just a bad habit you picked up along the way?
Could be. I don't know. That's an opinion.
It is an opinion.
I
mean, do you choose it or are you born that way? That's,
I think
you're born that way. I mean, I'm sure there are fringe examples other ways, that are like sucked a couple dicks and went back to pure girls.
No.
I'm not talking about a lifelong, you know what I mean? Look at this guy says I exploit. Only person I ever exploited was your mother.
Hey, tell him to prove it, Go ahead and prove it.
No, they can't prove it. He's low IQs.
Right.
No, I don't think that
troll.
I mean, this could all be, but it's just I'll tell you what I do believe in, so I guess I can reach the levels of Michelle's looniness. And that is karma. I believe in karma.
Yeah, I believe in karma. I sure do, Tom.
When you talk about karma now, what is that you believe in?
I believe that if you do bad stuff with ill intent and you're just a motherfucker around this world that just causes trouble and lies and doing illegal shit, stealing, embezzling, fucking around on your wife, watching kiddie porn, all that kind of crazy shit, that you are going to pay the piper for that big time.
So in the Bible and stuff, it tells you not to do that, and that's sinning, and that there's consequences for that as well. See, this is where all religions kind of come into one.
No, it isn't.
It is.
Jews don't think that.
Jews don't think that it.
No, neither do the Buddhists.
They follow the Bible.
No, they don't. Not the one you do.
It's the same thing. The Old Testament is part of the Christian, this part of. They just don't believe.
Yeah, but you're talking about eye for an eye and that kind of stuff.
That's what you're saying. Karma.
No, but I'm asking you. Do you think they follow the New Testament means nothing to a Jew? Zero.
Right.
So do you think the Jews believe in an eye for eye?
We'll have to get a Jewish person up here.
Now we're talking my language.
Yeah, right.
I believe an eye for an eye. I've always felt that way.
I think so.
Oh, boy.
I really do. I do.
Yep. But it doesn't happen that way. Michelle, I got a question. What about the people? Okay, let's say, for example, you know, you do a lot of shitty things, and
Like
you're not
what?
a good person and all this, and then you turn to God and repent, and then God will forgive all
Yeah.
the horrible things you've done.
That's the way it's supposed to work.
That's
Yeah.
what. Well, if you are truly sorry and
Yeah.
you repent, you deserve a second chance. See, the whole thing with the Bible is, and this goes for everybody. Everybody on this panel has done something shitty in their lives. Nobody can sit here, and in the chat as well. Nobody can sit here and say throughout my life I never did anything horrible or not that
Yeah,
great,
but how about
right?
your just human behavior or a pleasure seeker, hedonism?
But
What's
that's
horrible? If I bang 10 topless dancers a night for 20 years, is this what you're talking about?
You
what
should
I'm
feel
talking
terrible and be, karma should
what I'm
get you for
talking
that,
about
Tom.
is you by you doing that though, okay? So listen, all laughing aside, is by you doing that, you're sharing your body and complicating your own life
No, I'm
because
not. That's
those
human
those
behavior. How do you think we all got here? You're
it's
villainizing sex
no
and making it a
you're
requirement
no
That's
for
that.
you're
marriage.
I can agree with that.
you're
Yes,
talking like an animal, like you're like,
I
I'm
am
gonna
an
go
animal.
out and just
that's what it is. Animal instinct.
I'm just gonna go out and I'm just gonna go and sleep with like 10 topless dancers or whatever, and that's gonna be okay. Well, the ramification of all of that is just like just like the whole
Well, there's
Epstein
nothing
Bill
wrong with
Gates
it.
thing. Epstein and Bill Gates, what happened? They
And no,
took
don't
underage
compare
girls.
Epstein to a guy banging girls his age with consent. It's not at all the same.
Right, but these topless dancers that you're probably having sex
I
with.
wish I could have had sex with them. They wouldn't go out with me.
So this is just what you would
Well, so
want
you
to do.
think
You've
topless
actually never
dancing's
done
wrong
that.
too, and they're going to have some big consequence for doing that.
Sure.
Oh, fucking, you're losing it
Depression.
totally. You are
Where do you think
crazier now.
depression and mental illness comes from? They comes from poor choices. And
No,
I'm
it
not saying
doesn't. It comes from
yes, it
bad
does.
genes. No, it
Yes, it
doesn't.
does. Yes,
No,
it
it
does.
doesn't.
Yes, it
No,
does.
it doesn't. It comes from bad genes.
Sure.
It doesn't come from poor choices.
Well, that depends. I mean,
Yeah, I mean there are
it,
See,
examples,
you're
but
taking
by and
offense to
large,
this. See, you're taking offense to this. See, the thing is if
yeah,
you
it's
think about it,
bullshit.
if you think about it, not and I'll
Hey,
say
Connor.
this myself that like when the choices that you make affect your life in some kind of way, and sometimes it leads to mental like depression and
Yeah,
stuff.
sometimes it doesn't.
go the other way. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? It's going to last forever?
What I'm saying is there's just like how you said, like with karma and stuff like that. When
There's
you do
nothing wrong
things,
with that, but you're taking something that there's nothing wrong with and trying to make it sound bad.
so
Probably from your
let's
young
not
juvenile brainwashing sessions at Bible study.
so so you think it's okay for everyone to just go out and just sleep with each other all the time,
Yeah, if
like
they want
whoever
to.
have sex with
Why,
50
yeah,
women.
sure. I don't have a problem consenting adults.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds like
sexually
an
And
orgy
healthy,
to me.
you think
active sexual life. There's nothing wrong with it. What do you think? You got to be married?
no, but do you think that having sex with that many people is not going to complicate your life whatsoever? That
I mean,
nobody's
it
going to
might, but every other
see,
fucking
because
thing
you don't know.
complicated
Because
it too.
see, you're talking like you've done this and that there's nothing wrong. You're just arguing for the
No,
sake
I'm
of
not.
arguing.
No, I don't think there's
No, you
anything
don't
wrong with
have
it.
any type of belief. You believe whatever sways your mind that day.
I don't think that
Just admit
you're
it.
villainizing an active
I'm
sexual
not
lifestyle
villainizing.
amongst consenting adults.
I'm not villainizing anything. You can live your life however you please.
That's it. Did you live your life that way?
Yeah, and I had to deal. Let me tell you what came with living my life a certain way. Not good things.
Yeah, but it wasn't because of that. It was because
Yeah.
of the.
Oh, yes, it was. Oh, yes, it was, Tom. And we're not going to go into
Is your
like
life better now
details.
that you're not doing it?
Um, Yeah, I would say oh yeah, it's a lot better than when I was living that type of lifestyle before.
What type of lifestyle? Like, you mean having sex and not being married?
Yeah.
So everybody that has sex that isn't married ends up having a shitty life. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying, Tom. I'm not going to get into all my personal
I'm
information.
not getting into your personal. I'm talking
Yes,
about
you
people in
are.
general.
Yeah. Yes, you are. Let me tell you something. The more stuff that you do because it makes you pleasure seeking, because it makes you feel good,
Wrong.
is not going to be good for you in the long
Wrong.
run.
Like
Right.
going on vacation.
Right. Right.
Like going on vacation.
There's nothing wrong with going on a vacation.
And do you
There's
go on a vacation for reasons other than having a good time and fun?
spending time with your family.
No, I don't know. I
Go
go
on a
by
vacation.
myself. I don't want to
Well,
spend time with my family.
I know, because you're very about yourself. I know. I don't we know. We know.
Stephanie, are you following this? Steph?
You can go on a vacation, Tom, and that's not having sex with hundreds of people.
No, but you're
which is
villainizing
good.
sex. You're saying that the big
There's
unhappiness.
nothing wrong with having sex. There is nothing wrong with having sex. I did not say that. I'm not villainizing.
Well, then when shouldn't you have it then?
I'm saying having sex with tons of people on just random occasions is probably not the best way to go in life.
Oh, who knows?
I'm not gonna sit there.
You put a
and
number on it then.
Not talk to you because you did that. I'm not gonna sit there and
You did
like
it too.
swear. I'm not gonna sit there and
You did it
swear
too.
at somebody.
You did it too.
Right, and I'm here to tell you it wasn't good.
But you
It
having
didn't end up
sex isn't
being
what got you
good.
in those problems.
It
It was
was
the people that you had sex with that caused the problems, not the sex.
That's a good point.
but that's what happens when you do stuff like that.
Yeah, but I'm sure you've had conflict in me and anybody else. You didn't have to have sex to get to know some people that weren't any good for you. Sex got nothing to do with it. It was just a way of hooking up. Whether you snowmobile together, go fishing together, fuck for 2 hours.
Well, that's like dating somebody. You said that you went into a topless bar and banged. See, now you're switching up your story on
No, I would have
the first argument. No, we're sticking
He's
with
got
the
a good
first
point,
argument.
though. He's got a good point.
No, he doesn't. Because
I mean, I look
his
at it like
point.
this: I'm going to go on vacation with somebody, a woman or something. Eventually,
fine.
you would think you're going to have sex, or
Do-
it's like
do
unless you're just
you.
best
You
friends
guys do you
forever.
then. If you're gonna go, like, do what you want to do. You know what I mean?
So you're
But what I'm
you're
here
gonna
to say is banging 10 topless dancers in a night is not a good idea.
That's an opinion.
Yeah, I'm sticking with that opinion.
I mean, nobody's doing that anyway that I know.
I know
I
I've
wonder
never
why.
been
I
that lucky.
wonder why.
I would if I could.
We
Because
can't
the girl-
afford to.
Every guy in the
why
world,
people
every
don't
young guy in
do
the world
that.
would bang 10 topless dancers if he could. He's not banging him because he's using your school of logic, is they don't want to. Big difference.
No,
If your
there's
husband could bang 10 topless dancers and you wouldn't find out about it, he'd be doing it too.
no, you wouldn't.
Yes, he would.
I already know him. Don't say that you know my husband.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
He likes girls, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And he's married, isn't he?
Yeah.
He'd definitely be banging 10 topless dancers if he could.
Sure. Okay, Tom. You know everything.
It's like now, LA, are you connecting low self-esteem to active sexual lifestyle?
That's
I mean, what do you
it
want to
looks
give swingers? The fucking death penalty, Michelle?
like. Well, a lot of swingers that does lead to divorce. I mean, if
Yeah,
you're not
divorce
both on
is
the
more.
same
There's
page.
more people getting divorced now than marriage.
That's all
Mary.
I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is the more people that you have sex with complicates your life.
It complicated your life.
It complicates a lot of people's
Yeah.
lives.
But you don't know what happened in other people's lives.
I do. I have friends and we talk and I know each other on a personal level. Okay.
Okay. So you do everything right. And life's supposed to be great.
life's easier when you do stuff a certain way, and it is.
She thinks there's a connection between promiscuity and low self-esteem.
I think
You're
um
acting like your experience applies to all, and that's just not true.
no, it's not true, but I'm here to tell you my experience. See, you never experienced it, so you can't even have an opinion.
Never experienced what?
Living a certain lifestyle and having ramifications because of it. You're opinionating. You're just throwing out opinions about stuff that you've never lived a certain
What are you
way
talking
or
about?
anything. Like having sex with a ton of people or whatever.
So, yeah, lots of people have. But you're
Yeah, but
connecting sex to you're taking one aspect of a relationship and you're connecting sex with
of
like bad
of a
outcomes, which is
relationship, right?
nonsense.
So if you're in a relationship with one person, that's different than just having sex with this person this month, this person that month, this person the next.
No, but
You
it
know what I
isn't like
mean?
that. You're making it look like it's like that, and it isn't.
You just talked about Hinduism and banging like 10 women in one night.
Yeah, if
That's
they
like the
want to and
whole.
it's consensual and they enjoy it, that isn't going to be the network to their demise. Is it always
Okay.
going to work out? It isn't. How
Right.
many times your dad been married?
Uh, a bunch of
Yeah,
times.
what do you blame that on?
His relationship not working out.
Every single time for what? I mean, but do you think this is
Well,
something he
people
could have
get
changed?
divorced because of there's good reason. I don't know the reasoning, but people get divorced because there's a good reason. People just don't get divorced because they just woke up and was like,
How about
I feel like getting a divorce today.
getting married for a bad reason?
Yeah, I'm sure tons of people probably. Yeah.
Okay, so then you really can't blame it on. It's the marriage is the problem, not the divorce. The divorce is trying to get the hell
I'm
away.
not blaming anything on anybody.
More people get divorced than married.
Right. I'm not blaming anything on anybody. Why are you saying that I'm blaming people
Well, I'm
for
asking
what?
you, if there's more
What am
people
I
getting
blaming?
divorced, if there are more people getting divorced than getting married, do you think that this has to do because of a sexual lifestyle or just all the problems that you have in a typical relationship, whether you're having sex or whether you're not?
Well, there's actually, what is it? There's like 3 or 4 things that are bit major. It depends on the couple. I mean, everybody has different wants and needs and everything else. So, I mean, some people can tolerate abuse in relationships better than others. Some people it's okay. Like that's okay. I don't care if my husband does this or, it's an individual how people want to live their lives, that's their choice.
Yeah, that's what I say. But it's like you seem to put a big
A big burden on what? What?
no, you
What am
seem to
I?
bring you seem to think that the emphasis on a lot of these issues is because of sex.
No, no, no. Wrong. I never said that.
Didn't you say people that had a lot of sex?
If if you have sex with a lot of people, it will complicate your life.
You don't know that. No, you don't know you
Okay,
can't
Tom.
speak to that.
Okay. Okay. All right.
All right,
Did
I
it
got
Sex
one.
with 1,000
did it
people.
complicate yours?
Yes.
Okay, does that mean it's going to complicate everybody's?
No.
Okay, good. We're getting somewhere.
I got a question now. How's this phrase fit in here? I want a divorce. He wants too much sex.
I want a divorce. You want too much sex. Well, if you guys
Yeah,
aren't
ladies, how do
compatible,
you all handle that one? I want a divorce. He wants too much sex.
well, actually, that's a good reason to get a divorce. Because if you don't want to have sex with your partner, then you should probably get a divorce. It actually makes a lot of sense.
But it's not the man saying, "Listen, I'm going out to the strip club. I'm going to bang 10 chicks tonight at the strip club, but you know, my
No,
my
that's
wife won't let me touch her though. So what do I do? Oh,
that's
she
a,
just bitches and complains. She wants a divorce because I want too much sex. Well,
well
so
well
that
that's
obviously
probably
different.
that'll benefit the man though. That'll benefit the man because then maybe he can find somebody who can is compatible, as a more of a sex drive.
Well, she got into the marriage though. She obviously knew what was going on, and now he's out banging 10 strippers in one night. She don't want it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, almost all the older couples I know, let's say like over 50,
Yep,
they've been sleeping in separate beds for 20 years.
I can understand that.
Well, I mean, if they don't want to see, that's like two people, like their sexual intimacy, like that's up to the two, whoever's in the relationship with the person. Like some people, sex is a major, major, major thing, and it should be a major thing. And some people, it's not that high on the list for them as far as what they want and need in a relationship. Everybody's different. No two people are the same.
Yeah, we know this.
Okay, good. So then why is it an argument?
Well, because you put such emphasis on it. Did every bad relationship you had that didn't work out, was it because of sex?
No.
Okay, that's my point. There's a whole bunch of
So
stuff out
what's
there,
your point?
unrelated.
No, wait a
if
minute. Clarify.
you're having
please.
sex all the time, every single day of the week, or you're not. It's a factor, but it isn't that big of a deal.
To some people, it's a major deal, and to other people, it's not.
Well, things change. I mean, whose sex life after being in a marriage 20 years is like it was when you first started dating? What are your expectations? What's a realistic way of looking at it? I mean, this is on people's minds. All you got to do is go into the self-help book section of a bookstore.
Oh,
There's a
geez.
zillion books on this shit. We're not the only people talking about it.
Well, the thing is, right?
No,
is
Chris.
You have to have. This is the key to a good sex life. Listen up, you guys. If you have good communication in your relationship, if you cater to each other's needs, still keep the romance alive some way, somehow, your sex life will be great. All right. What happens is when you're in a relationship for a long period of time, you guys kind of drift apart and like you don't talk as much, you don't communicate with each other as much, and then you're off doing your own thing and this person's doing their, and you kind of grow apart, and then you're not like really eager to have sex with the other person.
I'll say.
It just, you kind of like, or if somebody's being abusive in the relationship too, like that can always deter a relationship, like if somebody's being, mean or abuse, or whatever, that can definitely screw up a relationship.
So then with having this all figured out, you ought to be looking to have another 20, 30, 40-year run at a happy marriage then, right? All you got to do is communicate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Both people have to communicate. You have to communicate.
And that's what it boils down to.
Communicate, caring about the person, respecting the person, and loving the person. Love, honor, and obey. But that doesn't, people lose track of all of that.
Obey? What the fuck are you talking about?
Listen to the other person when they say something to you and actually care what their feelings are, too.
So that's all there is to it?
It is. It's very simple, actually. People make it like so much more. It's actually a very simple formula. And then once that goes and you don't want to, you don't love the person or you don't care about them anymore, then split up. It's easy as that. Then separate.
Don't work through it?
It works. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with working through problems. But when you come to, and you'll know when it's just over. Like, you'll know when either something was just too damaging or whatever, and you can't forgive. And it's just kind of like, not everybody's.
You don't think people can just get sick of each other and want to move on, try something new? You're right,
That's
Jay.
that's no, that's probably what it is. It's probably the love's gone, the caring about the other person's
So
gone.
it's a torture chamber after the romance moves off.
It
Nothing,
is a
nothing,
torture chamber.
nothing good in life is ever easy.
Well, Michelle, I'm just glad that I've lived both lives. I had the married life, and then I had the single life. And I'm just glad I experienced both of them. I chose not to get married again because being single, I liked a lot more than being married. So I'm just glad that I was able to live both, try both things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No,
Matter of
and I
fact,
mean, when you got a divorce, so Stephanie, when you got your divorce, it was probably just because you knew that was just the best
don't
for
put
that
words in her
situation.
mouth.
No, I'm just asking her a
Yeah.
question. I'm
No,
asking her a
you
question.
said it's
Stephanie,
probably because you blah, blah, blah.
Stephanie.
Let her tell you
When
if she
you got
wants to.
divorced, what was your reason for getting divorced?
oh, I've told you this before. We were friends. We weren't husband and wife. We were more like buddies. That's why we got a divorce.
I can tell you this, as far as happiness goes, and all that bullshit you're trying to jam down our throat. Stephanie was getting railed by
You're
a
putting
guy
words
10
in my
years
see,
younger.
look at he's talking about putting words in mouths. I'm not jamming anything down
Stephanie was
anybody's
getting
throat.
railed by a guy 10 years younger than her for quite a while. She
I
never had a
was.
smile bigger
And
on her face than she did then.
He was in a rock band.
Oh, Stephanie, according to Michelle, you should feel really bad and you're going to hell.
No, I never said that.
Michelle, I was in my 30s. I went crazy after my divorce because I had only been with one man. I had only
Oh,
been
so
with
you
my
were
husband.
okay.
I
So you
never
were like,
experienced being with other men. And yes, in my 30s, I went nuts. You bet I did.
I got good news, Tom.
Chris, they're talking.
I got good
That's
news.
okay. Okay.
It's the best news of the entire year.
Oh, yeah, what is it?
We're in an apartment.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations. Excellent.
We're still at the hotel, but it's the apartment is above the office. It used to be a manager's apartment, but they rent them out to tenants.
Good for you. Right above the office?
Yes.
Yeah, you make sure you give it good to Debbie in the daytime when they're there.
It's a 1-bedroom, everything. And it's $900 a month. Everything is included. All bills paid.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And by the way, your place is looking really fabulous down there.
Oh, thank you.
I can't believe how nice
Yeah,
that's.
I'm gonna have Stephanie down. We've promised each other there'll be no talk about anything.
Why is your deck so big? Did you want your deck big like that?
Yeah. I figure when I get dementia, I can ride a tricycle up and down.
That's a beautiful area where you're at. That really is.
Stephanie's coming down.
And Chris,
We
you
don't
know
want
what?
to offend you, but Stephanie and I have already planned on zero commitment here. None.
Yeah. And Chris, you know what Tom did for me? He built me an outdoor shower.
Did you see that?
I saw that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. I also got myself a pair of the Blue Brothers sunglasses. She's taking
Like
one.
you don't even have a neighbor. What's your closest neighbor to you? How far?
He's a couple hundred yards away, but he doesn't give a shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That place is looking really nice.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I got a special bondage torture chamber that I can't talk about it right now. I don't want to offend Michelle.
oh geez, here we go. I don't want any part of it. Thanks.
Yeah, it'll
I've
save
had
your
enough
marriage.
torture in life. I don't.
It'll save your marriage.
And I
Yeah,
agree with
right.
Tom wholeheartedly about the sex thing. It's not the same when you get older. When you're younger, you know what I mean. But when you get older, it just kind of, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of sex, I didn't mind covering you on your fine when you were cooking in your unit and you weren't supposed to. Boy, that's a load off your mind now, isn't it?
Oh God, yeah. Now I can cook now constantly.
Hey, but I'll send you another couple $100, but you got to prove this. I want you to really give Debbie a good rail on why the office is open and they can hear you.
Yeah. They shut this office down. It's not. It's this office. It's across the parking lot.
Oh wow, well you're home free then. Good for you. Well, you feel better, don't you?
Yeah, be having an apartment. Yeah, I have my own space, more in a bedroom now and everything. Yeah.
Good for you. Well, you'll be able to jack off more of those movies Debbie doesn't know you have.
Exactly.
Well, no wonder you're smiling. God, you got some privacy now.
Exactly.
You got some privacy.
It's all about privacy, is right.
See, that's where Stephanie and I agree 100%. We both have a lot of privacy. We don't need to put up with anything we don't like. No noise, no snoring, no rolling around in the bed. Just pure carnal lust.
Stop, Tom. Stop.
She's never going to have so much fun. You know, you guys can make fun of us being old, which we are a little bit too. Let me pour myself another shot. This is working perfectly.
Tom doesn't have sex anymore.
No,
Tom's sex life was non-existent.
yeah,
He's out
it
here
is.
talking
Pretty
about
much
sex and
is.
stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh,
I really, to me, that's, you know, you got the different wonders of the world and that kind of thing. Anybody that's been married like 40 or 50 years and they say their sex life is just like it's been great their whole life. Is this possible? I mean, I always think they're lying.
It could be.
It's usually some Christian group, trying to further their agenda.
So Tom, how's your sex life going?
Well, it's like I told my doctor, you counting jacking off? Because if you are, it's going great. If you're not doing very well.
yeah, Michelle, and I'm a born again virgin.
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
Oh God.
Well, thank you. Thank you. No, it's like there's just, you just never know. I mean, if everybody thought the same, there'd be one color car and everybody'd eat the same thing on the menu. It's just,
Right, but people,
you just never know.
oh Lord.
There's a lot of variables.
Sure.
You never really know. Hey, Keith.
Joins Tom's ministry of
Keith.
I believe
tell
in
people
this and a little bit
I
of
tell
this
people
and a
don't
little
listen
bit
to
of
anything that I
that
say.
and that
Keith, you
and
there?
this and that.
Hi, I'm here, Tom. What's up?
How's it going, man? We need some reasoning here.
Here, well, I'm here for Buffalo Bills. We have to get rid of this Buffalo Bills hat. Come on now.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's into the Buffalo Bills big time.
She's a Rochester fan, which actually, if you guys want to talk about it, the NFL's not rigged. Come on now.
Oh, rigged?
It is rigged because
I'll tell you what I do think rigged. I do think the playoffs are rigged.
I think they are rigged because the Steelers had the same exact chance as the Buffalo Bills. So I'm not that old. I'm young. And for as long as I can remember, we've never canceled a game because of snow. And all of a sudden we have to move the game because of snow.
I couldn't believe that. I honestly,
very good point.
I was surprised over that. I was like,
seriously.
What?
But here's the thing, Tom. And I'm not trying to get political, but
let me have it.
if this isn't okay, so they obviously moved the game because of a blue state. If this was in a red state, would we move this game? If this game was in Pittsburgh or Ohio, would we move this game?
Right. What do you attribute this to?
I think it's because of DraftKings. I think it's because of the whole fantasy thing of betting money on the game.
There's
really
a good argument for that.
I really think there's a fixation to this game right now.
I think so too. I think you're right because it doesn't make sense. I know. I do think. I think you have a valid. When I first heard about the game getting moved, they've never done that before, and there's bad weather here all the time. So
it's a whiteout in Buffalo. I mean, this time of year in Buffalo. Seriously, come on. We're moving the game because of this, because of lake effect. January in Buffalo, always a snowstorm in Buffalo, and the fact that we're moving this game. Come on, there's some fixation to this. There's
something. Yeah, no, you're right. I thought the same thing when I was like, what? For like 10 minutes, I was scratching my brain at this whole thing.
It makes you wonder, Tom, if the NFL is like the WF, the WWE.
No, I agree, man. There's, and you look at like the playoff ticket sales and like who gets in and wild card and all this bullshit. And when that doesn't get you there by itself, then you see this kind of crap.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's just like if you ever read like articles, like as an example, like LeBron James, Michael Jordan, those kind of guys, they never get together and tell all the refs, hey, look, back off. These are superstars. Nobody wants to go to a game and listen to the whistle blowing the whole damn time. You want to see spectacular stuff. Taking off, traveling, carrying, palming, flying through the air, dunking. It's part entertainment. It's part sports. If you put LeBron James in a high school game right now, he'd be gone in the first quarter for traveling.
Well, the thing I bring up too, because I'm from Northeast Ohio, about LeBron, he opened up this whole like academy school and stuff.
Who I love, by the way.
What Northeast Ohio?
Now LeBron, he actually turned out better than what I thought.
But the thing
with a ton of pressure.
Here's the thing, though. He opened up that school in Northeast Ohio. He didn't pay a dime for it. It's all taxpayer funded.
No, I believe that. But all that bullshit's that. Same with Detroit and Ford asking like they're the savior to Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No taxes for the next 30 years. You can't sustain a city with nobody being down there, accepting services and not paying a dime.
Yep. Absolutely.
Look at the Port of Toledo. I can give you a million examples of this. That's what all Detroit is now.
Ooh, yeah.
Grants, loans, funding through nonprofits. It's all fake money. It's not traditional business.
It's interesting because actually you can bring up the argument. So the whole rivalry between Michigan and Ohio State is because of the Port of Toledo. And there was a discussion. The state of Michigan was going to receive the Upper Peninsula, and Ohio was going to get Toledo. That's the whole reason for that rivalry, by the way.
Oh, really?
Which, grand scheme of things, I think Michigan was better off. The Upper Peninsula is better than Toledo right now. So,
well, it depends how you look at it.
Yeah.
Huge dope, no jobs.
Yeah.
Oh, basically, it's just one big giant wild bird sanctuary, other than Marquette.
I have a question for you, Tom, because you left. You had that one kind of fluky snowstorm.
Yeah.
You guys had a snowstorm last week. Do you miss it? Because there was a snowstorm.
I do. But, the snowstorms are nothing anymore.
I know they aren't.
I'm not so sure I'd have left if we'd have had winters like we had in the 70s and 80s. I was lucky enough to be living in Chicago for the second and third worst snowstorms. But even that place is like nothing.
Yeah.
I love winter. I mean, I realize now that I'm older, I'm going to have to travel to it.
Yep.
And, Michigan, even since, I've been going up there since 78, grew up in Michigan. Even the lower peninsula people went to the upper peninsula, and the upper peninsula got to the point where they almost had to go to Canada to snowmobile. I mean, there's no doubt that the weather's changed.
When I was a kid, and so I've been going up to Traverse City since I was a kid. So I would say this was like 2001. I remember being a kid going up there, and we would see the routes for the snowmobiles. Mm-hmm. You have to get a solid amount of snow for the snowmobiles going up there, and there's no snow. Period. There's no snow. Period up there now.
I think there is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got some in the last couple of days. If you look up around there, and I think they were getting more. And if you look at the east side where I just was, Tawas, they got nailed.
But if you look,
not like old days nailed, but
if you look,
it looks like winter.
And when I was a kid, Traverse City was a secret. No one really knew about it.
No, I think Traverse City is overrated.
It is real over now. It is, because if you look now, because of social media and all the influencers and stuff. Actually, if you look this up, this is a true fact. Traverse City is home to the most millionaires.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's true.
And they have the highest
cocaine
of cocaine. Yes, cocaine. Yes. Yep. Yes, Tom. Yep.
Yeah. I wonder how do you quantify that though? I mean, how do they know who's doing cocaine?
Well, I remember like 10 years going up there, and some random guy came up to me and asked me if I want weed. So I'm sure it's based off of that, right? Like, hey, do you want coke? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. But I like it up there, but I like Leelanau better.
I love Fishtown. Yeah, it's a good place. Yeah. And so it's unfortunate because I feel like.
Here's the deal. What do you think of this?
What's that?
And that is that if you look at like states and their favorite places and where people like to go, And then you look at Michigan. I think part of the reason why Traverse City is viewed the way it is, look what you're comparing it to. Detroit,
Ugh.
Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids. I
Grand
mean, it's the only damn place in the state that's really like that. There is no plan B where
What do
you
you
can
think
take
of,
a family
like,
there and not get worried about getting beat over the head and your car stolen.
So let me ask you this question. Why do you think like places like Alpena have not received that attention then? Is it because it's a rocky coastline on the east side?
Yeah, that's a good question. I prefer that side of the state better. But if you look at well, you could argue that starting at Bay City all the way north, all the way up to the bridge, which you would pass Alpena, that
Yeah.
place is deader than a doornail. It's been that way my whole life, and there's no sign of change. The argument is that the west side is the influence of Chicago. I don't know if that's true or not. But
Well,
all those towns on the east side, heck, you can be 5 miles outside Mackinac City in the summertime, and it's desolate, nothing.
Sheboygan. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, look at Williamsburg and Traverse City. Everything there goes broke.
Yeah, I agree.
It's right around the corner from a place where you got to stand in line for 2 hours to get an ice cream cone.
I agree with you.
It's funny. All places have these. They always said Ypsilanti was going to turn into Ann Arbor. Never happened. These places just evolve, and it's like that here. Athens, Georgia, where the University of Georgia is at. Every place else around it is like so-so. It didn't extend into more Athens. I don't know why this works this way. It's crazy.
I don't really know too much about.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's a nice
Michigan.
place, but it's just too many people there now, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think that complicates things? Too many people?
Yeah, I do, man. It's just, when you got to go to a place, and every place, Hilton Head's like that. It's a hard place. You go out to eat. You're already worried about a place to park.
Really? I've never
go
been
to
there.
the touristy places, same thing, place to park.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Florida's the same thing. St. Augustine, go down there in the winter. It's like, my God, man, it's the traffic.
Oh, okay.
God, it's just like, it takes you forever to get anywhere.
Like New
I don't
York
like
City?
it. I like out open spaces. What seems to keep a lot of people around an area, and when people rate areas and why they want to travel there, older people, and me too, you like to go to good places to eat. And when you're on the east side of Michigan, that's a foot-long hot dog and an order of fries. When you're on the west, it's fondue and sushi and sharp broiled steaks. And that really matters. But they can support that kind of clientele. It's just interesting how places evolve the way they do and stay that way for years. And it's hard to really change them. They're just nice. They've been nice through your whole lifetime. They were like that before you were born, and they'll probably be like that forever. And there's always places that they try to make nice, that they try to make that way, and it never works. Toledo, Ohio is a perfect example. They got a nice port there. They spent a fortune, all this free government grants, money. It's flunked a couple of times. They tried to improve the water line in Detroit. Didn't matter. Never worked. You go over to Windsor, it's the opposite. They're really for years have really been into the environment and interacting with it. There's a million places over there where you can pull your car up to the water and watch ships and boats. There's 2 in Detroit, and they're always filled with the 3 cars that are there. It's funny how.
So you lived in Florida before, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay. So do you think a lot of because Florida usually gets hit with a lot of storms and tornado, just
Hurricanes, but
tornadoes.
not that. You hear about them, but that's about it.
You don't think it causes a lot of damage or stuff that's hard to repair? Then when you're up north.
Yeah, well, you get those fluke. Well, they got an insurance crisis down there now. Yeah, the reinsurance market. I do, but it's that's all calculated. I'll tell you where it's hard to get insurance now. They don't even want to write it anymore. It's Los Angeles.
Really?
Even no matter how much money you have, they do not want to write homeowners out there.
Yeah,
if you got a mortgage, you have to have it.
Because I was just wondering, because the up north, stuff usually doesn't get damaged as easily because there's snow, but there's not a lot of torrential storms. So I'm wondering if that helps preserve areas and people in those areas.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at
what I mean?
hurricanes and you look at Key West and Miami and Homestead and Fort Lauderdale, they all bounce back no problem. Now, Fort Myers took a big hit on this last one, which was kind of exceptional. But by and large, Tampa, all those places, man, they're back running again by the next season.
Oh, okay.
I mean, hurricanes, if you've ever been through one, I mean, you get wet, you can't buy anything, there are lines for gas, your power's out. It's a pain in the ass more than anything else. It's the
It's kind of
tornadoes,
like a
the
major
ones that you want to worry about.
snowstorm.
Yeah, the tornadoes are the ones that kill you. Hurricanes, like, they're coming a month before they get there.
Mm.
Oh, Impelov lost his virginity on Belle Isle. You lucky dog. Were you facing
On
the
what?
Canadian side or Detroit? Yeah, Belle Isle's nice. The state took it over. Now you can go there and not worried about getting murdered.
Where's that?
It's a Detroit.
Detroit. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I can remember reading stories about Rochester being nice.
Rochester was still. You know what ended up happening was, I think when Kodak kind of went down, the large company, a lot of the money went other place. People had a hard time finding jobs and everything, and I think that has a lot to do with how everything was ran. When you can't find, good jobs, you go elsewhere.
Yeah, that's the good jobs. I don't know where there are good jobs anywhere anymore.
Well, because Kodak, I remember, in the 80s, if you lived in Rochester, you probably either worked for, Kodak or
Yeah,
the
good old
hospital
days.
system.
Same with Detroit. It used to be the big three. Now it's the small two. Everybody in
Yeah.
the world's making cars.
I mean,
And
they've done.
with the new market now, you don't even need to have a car that's good.
Oh, okay.
You can buy a Tesla,
Yeah.
which you can't go anywhere in. It breaks
Yeah.
all the time. There are no dealers. You don't even need to build quality vehicles anymore. You can build one of those things. Some rich guy that wants to toot his flag about, using less fuel.
So where you're living now in Atlanta, where do you think most of the people, what are the major companies around where you
None.
live?
No, I live in the most rural county east of the Mississippi.
Oh,
There's only
okay.
1,500 people in it. Don't even have a hospital. I live in a broke county.
No, do you hunt at all? Do you have any
No,
guns?
hate it.
Oh, I was just wondering because a lot of
Marty
people that
likes
live.
that stuff. He doesn't hunt, but he's a big gun nut.
Oh, okay.
No, this is a place where if it wasn't for acreage and doing your own thing and you had to live in town, you probably wouldn't like it. Not because there's crime. It's just all these little small towns all over the country are run down. All the employers have left. So I don't need to deal with that. If I want a good dinner or a bookstore, I go to Athens or Augusta.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing around here. If you were going to live here, you'd probably go crazy if you didn't like driving. Nothing. I don't hear a siren, a car. Maybe 2 cars go down the road a month. No light pollution.
Nice.
You can hear a pin drop. Yeah, it's just rural, nothingness. It's where trees were sustainable trees are planted, the paper companies. Places like this became available because there are big tracts of land sometimes that for whatever reason don't grow pine trees very well. They've tried everything. I mean, it's the same soil. It's in the same area. You get the same rain. They've tried fertilizing and they just don't grow for shit. And this tract of property is property in order to have a bunch of trees grow in 20 years. Here they take 40. So that's how these places come up for sale. Timber companies have them. They struggled with them. It's fuck this. And they sell them because they're really not good for anything other than this. You like being alone. You're into birds. Can't grow shit on them.
It's a good retirement community.
Yeah, good
right?
retirement community. Yeah.
Not
I
a
think
lot of
most
noise.
retirement people would get, you wouldn't want to do this. I mean, there's nothing here. Once 10 o'clock hits and the dollar stores close, you're done. There's not one bar in the whole county.
Yeah, but that's
Two
good for an
places to
older.
sell alcohol.
Older people usually don't go to bars. Yeah,
but you couldn't go in if you wanted to. You got to go. I have to go an hour to the east, an hour to the north, or 45 minutes to the west, and there's nothing south. College Town, Milledgeville. I mean, if I was like, say, your age, I don't think I could have handled it here. But I'm about ready to, just go out reading like books and messing around with beekeeping, so it doesn't matter. But this isn't a young person's place.
But I mean, your age, you're putting an ageist. You're saying my age, but there's a lot of people who are my age that like that lifestyle, living out in the.
Yeah, but it's expensive. I mean, in order to have something like this, it's expensive. You're not living out like this, and it's expensive still. I mean, property, even if you can't grow anything on it, it's $3 or $4 grand an acre.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I know it sounds like that, but I think you go crazy if you lived out here, because if you didn't have to work, you may do it and you'll like staying home, but you'd be driving your ass off to a job. I mean, it's 90 miles to Atlanta, 55 to Augusta.
Yeah.
This is just a really like I said much earlier, I don't think I could have handled this.
I know a lot of people who live in like the rural
LA.
areas of Rochester who are younger, but they chose it because they don't like the hustle and bustle and all the noise.
And I lived downtown Chicago for 13 years. I didn't even have a car for 3 years the first 3 years I moved there.
Well,
right in the middle of downtown.
Well, major cities.
I've had it both ways.
When I visited New York City, I drove, and I got to tell you that like I immediately regretted it. Like I understand why people don't drive in major cities.
No, it's a pain in the fucking ass. But again, it's back to parking.
Well, parking too. Yeah, well, parking, traffic,
Yeah.
You're better off not driving.
Yeah, this is like which is also the reason why it is like it is. You got people like me living out here. This isn't like, most people that could afford this, they want to be living in a nice neighborhood and, walking down to get sushi and shit like that. So it's all on what you're willing. I like the no noise and, I like the birds and the quiet and stuff like that. But I mean, I pay for like nobody around. That's where the value comes into me. I'm not chit chatting with neighbors, and I'm not looking across the street and seeing them walk his car and shit like that. I like just being like not bothered. Animals run around.
Well, you do have
I'm not even like a warm weather guy. People think I moved down here for the weather. I didn't.
Well,
that was probably the least reason.
Well, how is your vulture?
Great.
Your pet
Love those
vultures doing?
Yeah, they're really fascinating to me. They get a lot of bad rap, but they're like huge birds.
Do you see any bald eagles down there?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
you do.
I saw more in Michigan. Yeah, I do. There's a golden eagle around here.
What?
I saw it one day. Yeah, there's a golden eagle around here too. I see tons of. It's weird that we've got these like weird finches. I just went out and changed the batteries of my GoPro.
What color?
It's like dark because they're not breeding. They're in their dormant period down here. But there's like 10 finches out on the. It was raining so hard here last week. Marty put the seed on the porch.
Uh-huh.
And I just went out there and there were 10 finches eating in the dark at 10 o'clock at night.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
But tonight, they're smart too. It's getting down to 28 tonight, which for a down south bird's kind of cold. So they're smart and they know where the food's at and they're stocking up on it. Good night, Conan.
Yeah, because we have a lot of the turkey vultures here, and they can be a pain though because they're so big.
Yeah, they're big birds.
They
smell a lot better than black vultures.
Really?
Yeah, they're fat. They're neat birds though too. Yeah, they're not as smart as black vulture.
That's good to know.
Yeah, they're neat birds. All they do is eat garbage and crap. Their stomach acid is 100 times stronger than battery acid. They can dissolve metal.
Wow.
Yeah, a pretty impressive living species. They can just
Huh.
go up there and glide around. They don't start flying till around noon, 1 o'clock. They want that warm air and those thermals.
Hmm.
They're huge birds. Crazy how they like take off. They'll start running and
Yeah,
very noisy, like whoosh, 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 like that.
that's
Yeah, I hear Daisy
awesome.
snoring.
Yeah.
Daisy has
Yeah.
Hey, Anthony. She
Are you
had
gonna?
she gets some of that reverse sneezing a couple days ago, and I never had it last that long. But she hasn't felt too good. It's the first time she's eaten in a couple days.
Are you,
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm kind of wondering now if those are asthmatic attacks she has.
you you know what? I have a cat. One of my cats has a breathing problem, and we have to take him in every 6 months to get a shot. He starts getting noisy when he breathes and everything. Like,
Really? What
yeah,
do they
and
say that is?
allergies. He gets like this allergy
Wow.
shot. Yeah, he said that
Well,
he's
good
a
for you, Anthony.
Siamese.
Man, when I was a kid, I'm not kidding. When I was a kid, if we had a pet like a dog that needed something more than heartworm, it was time for a new dog.
Really?
Oh, now I guarantee that had been the same way with the cat. If you'd have told my cheap old Scottish jerk father that the cat needed like $200 worth of allergy shots, he'd have got a 22 between the eyes by dinner.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know, Tom. I know.
And then and then we'd have been all pissed off and sad. But
Yep.
back then, back then it's like that's just the way it was.
Yeah.
Marty and his
Growing
wife,
up,
Marty and his wife, they adopt every one-eyed, two-legged dog in the world, and pay up the ass to have these surgeries, and they're always like saving animals and helping animals and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like at a car show now, auction down in Florida, but they live in Hilton Head. Marty stays here part-time. But when they go to Hilton Head and they're always on the road going somewhere, it costs them $500 a day at this pet spa to board their two dogs.
wow.
They take them swimming. They take them, massages, all this crazy ass shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know, $500 a day. Man,
I need to go
we
there.
didn't spend $500 on all the dogs we owned combined. And the dogs like going there.
Now, have you ever had to board Daisy at all?
Do they have what?
Have you ever boarded Daisy?
No, that would not work too good. She's been at the vet a couple times, and they had to wear welding gloves.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
Yeah, she's funny with people, man, but she can be aggressive. I don't know what Daisy is. I think she's like Shih Tzu and something else, but she's real stocky in the chest, can bite like a son of a bitch. If she was young, she could jump up and lick you in the face. She's really a muscular dog. It looks like a little like Shih Tzu stuff, but she's getting older now, but she can be a super aggressive dog. She was a big time biter when I got her. It took me a year and a half before I could touch her feet.
Well,
Yeah, I think she was like the people that got her from a pound as a puppy. They had a baby, and she was jealous of the baby, which I believe. And then my neighbor got her, an older lady, and she had her for a year. But I knew the dog wasn't getting any exercise and stuff, so she had to go into an old folks home, and that's how I got Daisy. And I didn't really want Daisy, to tell you the truth. I was like dogged out, but I just knew what the circumstances were, and I knew how it would turn out if she went somewhere else, so I just took her. Yeah, she seems to like men better. Yeah, but sometimes she likes women. It's weird to figure out how they do what they do,
Oh, I know. I know.
She was not like too friendly of a dog at the beginning. Yeah, she's a good dog. I think she's like 10, maybe 11 now.
oh, so she's towards the end of her life.
Some of these last like 20.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Never mind.
Maybe you never know what you're going to get,
Well, that's true.
But little dogs, it's not like the big ones. Hell, they don't live long at all. Those St. Bernards and stuff and those big like Afghan hounds, some of those dogs only live like 7, 8 years.
I know.
Weird.
Huh.
But I've run into people with Chihuahuas 15 years and 17 years old, stuff like that. It's crazy.
I
Yeah,
really don't. I really don't understand how that works with the animals. How some of them, like I've had cats too that live to be almost 20, and then I've had cats live to
crazy.
be 15. Or
Yeah. No, that's weird how I don't know why either. But I know those Great Danes and stuff. I think they live like 7 years or something, don't they?
the Great Danes scare me so much. I saw a Great Dane the other day outside of a grocery store, and they're like mini horses.
They're huge. They
You
eat a
don't know.
lot too.
Yeah, like my mother had a Great Dane, and she had to get rid of it because it went through the glass door at the mailman.
Oh, really? Anyone I ever saw was like docile. You know what they're saying is getting a lot of health problems now is these golden doodles and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You think it's from breeding?
Yeah, but usually it's like, when they're mixed, like two different, mixing it's the staying the same, like miniature greyhounds or true greyhound that's been shrunk down over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Barks, it doesn't yap. It's an actual legitimate greyhound that's small. And when you use two different breeds of hybrids, in theory, they should be healthier. It's when you're trying to keep the same breed and you're making them smaller. And I mean, look what they did with the greyhound. The little Italian greyhounds. I had a couple of those. They were more like cats than dogs. Real skittish. I know people with greyhounds they've gotten loose. I know one guy that had adopted a racing greyhound. Somebody
Really?
slammed the door and the door flew open. The dog took off. They finally found it 6 months later on this little island in Illinois. They don't even must have swam out there, got scared or something. It lost like a lot of weight. And that damn dog didn't even want to come to his owner with food.
Hmm.
Those ones that race are very aloof and like, strange. Yeah. And the mini greyhounds I had, I thought they were cool dogs. I liked them, but they were a pain in the ass, especially housebreaking. Those goddamn things were pissing machines.
Stephanie, do you have any pets?
No, I had my dog was 15 years old when we had to put him to sleep. He was a Jack Russell and a Beagle mixed.
Oh, okay.
He was the best dog ever. Oh my God. He was my boy. I lost him about 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's always tough
No.
losing a
But
pet.
you don't want another dog, though, do you, Stephanie?
No, I thought about it, but no, I don't. I don't want to get attached again. It's really hard losing a pet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
dogs, because dogs are so cute. Because every time you go to a dog and they're wagging their tail when they see you, and they're just
Oh yeah. Yeah. He was by my side all the time. Slept with me, on the couch he
think,
was,
think, think
yeah,
about it
he
like
was with
this.
me all the time.
Think about it like this. Every time you came home, if your spouse acted like a dog when they saw you, you would probably
Oh yeah.
never have a bad relationship, right?
It was so cute, Michelle,
Unconditional love.
in my apartment. I had a window, and he used to, before he got fat, he knew what time I was coming home, and he would sit in the window and wait for me, look for my car, because I parked my car right there where he could see. And so I put one of the kids' height chairs up there so he could get up in the window.
Aw.
I know. He would sit there and wait for me. I got home. It's so cute.
That's cute.
But then he got old and fat, and he couldn't get his fat ass up on the windowsill anymore. Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah, there's dogs now, too. Like, I remember you could go to a humane thing. You got to go through a lot of bullshit now to get a dog at a humane thing. You're just not
Oh, I
going to.
know. I looked into it, Tom, a few years ago, and even adopting a dog costs a lot of money too.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just all this paperwork and bullshit.
Yeah. Yep. I couldn't believe what they were charging. And even to adopt a cat,
Yeah.
I'm going to pay a couple $100 for a
Yeah.
cat.
But if you go to these like dog thing, I know people that like, want like a small dog and they can't find them anywhere. They're all like
No.
big dogs and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, the small dogs. And the small dogs are really expensive, too.
Yeah, they are.
Well, usually
It's crazy.
at the pound around at the animal shelter around here, you can always find like pit bulls usually. There's
Yeah,
usually,
they're everywhere.
yeah, but like if you want a small dog, they're a lot harder to find.
Yeah, they are.
There's usually
Yep.
not as many. You're right.
Yep. I was on the Humane Society board for a while and learned a lot. One thing I learned is that what a fantasy a no-kill shelter is.
Yeah,
The only places those work is where you got a ton of money, ton of donations,
yeah.
and you got some wacko that's 500 grand that's willing to build you another wing to keep these mean, old, sickly dogs that no one wants to adopt housed until the day they die. And that's exactly what happens. If you stick to that no-kill thing, you will end up having a zoo. You got a bunch of animals in there that are not adoptable. People don't want them. Everybody thinks they're cute. They cry. They feel sorry. But when they're leaving, they want the little fluffy one. They don't want that big thing that's chewing a fucking metal bar off the thing. They're thinking of it chewing their kid's arm off. I mean, you're fucking fucked with these goddamn dogs. Goddamn things snapping, teeth are hitting the metal. And then if you got half a goddamn brain, if you got half a brain, you're hiding these goddamn things. The family goes, hi, we just got out of church and Junior like a dog. It's like, can we go see back here, that one back there? He's like fucking eating half a fucking 3/4 inch. Clang, clang. It's his fucking teeth hitting the thing. It's like, no, I don't think he'd be good for your house. I mean, he just got 30 fucking cats where he last lived. No. So what happens is you got this dog that's costing you $100 a month. If nothing goes wrong, these vets don't give you a deal like you'd think when you have a shelter. They give you like 10% off, and they're not coming in there doing this shit for nothing. So all of a sudden, you got this wing that this kook of a millionaire. He's fucking living in La La Land. He's been spoiled his whole life. He spent 500 grand to build a wing for all these fucking mean, large, unadoptable dogs. He didn't want them put to sleep. It's like, okay. He said, well, what can I do to keep these animals from being put to sleep? It's like, well, you can build this wing. So how much? Like 500 grand. I said, I'll do it. And you got a whole wing there. You don't even take people down there anymore. Sliding their food. Yeah, sliding their food under the thing, a clang, biting the fucking bars.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
No, yeah, it happens. But you get the ones that are run on budgets that are funded by taxpayers. It's called the herd mentality. You take your money, what's left, and you invested it into the things that you're going to adopt out. Puppies. One big sales thing is you build one of these big giant like carpet fucking things where the cat can go in and out of little holes and jump off and that kind of shit. That sells the shit out of cats, man. And there's a lot of grants for those. Actually, I wrote a grant and a company built one for us, $33,000. And you come in there and you see, even if you don't like cats, it's cool. They're all running around, fucking around, looking, hide and shit like that. It's like, oh, it's so cute. And they fall in love with them. It works. It really helped get rid of cats. And believe me, when you're in the animal shelter business, that's the name of the fucking game. Getting rid of this shit.
Yeah.
No, I remember.
Every Christmas you come in, you hold hands and you all smile in front of camera. But number one goal is getting rid of these things.
Yeah.
There's another deal that you run when you're at a shelter. You switch populations of shit. Like, everybody, because once a year they have a golf outing or a pizza party and all the dog kennel managers and stuff get together some damn place and meet. And you swap around these dogs, which gets you more grant money. The last thing you want is 30 dogs being in the same place for a year. That's a killer financially. So you send your 30 to him, he sends his 30 to you. You show him this, pie chart of like how shit's moving in and out. And the grant people don't know why. They just know, oh, well, this is a very active, thriving. That's how they look at it. But you need every trick in the book to keep one. You're always on a thin budget. It's a fucking nightmare, man. It's a ton of work. you go in there with good intentions, and after about a year of that, it's like you're starting to not even like dogs anymore.
That's
Really,
crazy.
it'll burn your ass out. Yeah, shelter swap animal. That's why, though. It's for grant money. Because when you pitch these things, I mean, they've been fucked enough to know the right questions. It's like, yeah, I'm writing this grant, Tom Reed, I'm in the Humane Society. So you say, oh, yeah, Mr. Reed. Well, the population of your animal, yeah, I knew that was coming. I didn't even contact those fuckers until I had the right paperwork. It's like, well, what? Well, how about the population? So it's like, well, we're very active. We promote very heavily. Of course, everybody goes to the best home. You put chips in them. You know why you put chips in them? So you can make sure you don't adopt to the guy that doesn't put him in a fenced yard or just lets him go and he gets sick of him. You get the animal back and you realize, hey, this fucker never even reported him missing. You will hate people so bad when you get in the management side of a dog shelter. These people are so full of shit. Half the time you think, oh, this is great. This dog's really going to get a good home. You call these, it's like, hey, you dumb motherfuckers, we've had your dog down here because it had a chip in it for 2 weeks. Did you know it was missing? It's like, no.
Oh,
No, you'll be so mad all the time. I mean, we've adopted like dogs out. 2 months later, the motherfucker will be 400 miles away.
oh my
I go
God.
down there and get it, a chip. It's like, oh yeah, I remember you. How the fuck did you get here? It's a nightmare, man. It's not all like kids and puppies and tears at Christmas. It's a fucking cluster fucking half. And you get nothing for it. And then everybody's coming in there. Anybody that gives you $100 wants to tell you how to run things. It's like, well, I think that's really wrong of you to have this big dog back there and no socialization. It's like, yeah, well, you know what? He just chewed 2 fucking 3/4-inch metal fucking bars. It cost $2,800 to get him pulled out of his fucking ass.
Yeah.
Why don't you adopt him? Yeah, well, they don't want to do that. So it's always this kind of dynamic in one of those deals.
I understand. I worked at a shelter before.
Motherfucker, man.
I mean, I wasn't in the management or anything, but like, I would see. I understand the whole.
I hated that job.
I just volunteered. I didn't work there.
Yeah, it was a non-paid position. I'll tell you, you need people in management, not people that like animals. They're the worst motherfuckers out there. Yeah, you can get them to go in there and work for free 20 hours a week, cleaning up turds and shit for the greater cause of. There's a few of those that are good. But the animal lovers are the worst ones. They'll drive you fucking nuts. They'll have like a nervous breakdown because they think you're going to have to euthanize one, be writing letters to the paper.
That's why I couldn't do it.
No, it's sad. It sucks.
I liked doing it. I liked doing it because I like to play with all the animals too while I was doing stuff. But I mean, like, I saw it where, I mean, I thought it was a little bit unfair that the standard for, euthanization when they did the aggressive tests, like how aggressive.
No, that's something to like cover your ass from getting sued.
True. No, I get it, but like, it just kind of sucked how like pit bulls were the bar,
That's come around a long way, by the way.
Oh, has it? Okay.
Yeah, it's not like it used to, but there's some dogs, like some of these damn like animals that are just like, you can fucking forget it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like,
unless you got a suit of armor, man, you'd need to, tow that motherfucker around for a walk on the back of a tank. He'd be trying to get through that peephole. Chew your fucking eyeballs out of your head.
Tear your face off.
We had some mean ass goddamn dogs in there, man. They'd look at you and growl. And then there's other ones that were like that. If you can, believe it or not, I had a few of those. If you can spend time with them, those crazy ass fucking dogs will come around and seem to be good pets.
Well, the thing is, I think too, is they're scared too.
Yeah,
they're in a
big
weird
time, man.
place.
I've had dogs like that after a while of taking time with them and spending time with them, where they would like hug onto my leg and not want to let go.
Aww.
It's so sad.
Yeah, I know it. I could never.
You got certain dogs that just are aggressive towards cats. They're going to try and kill them every time they see them.
Well, when I adopted a dog at a shelter, I found out the hard way because they don't tell you everything when you adopt a dog at a shelter. So they tell you, well, we kind of know this
Yeah,
or
but a
that.
good one should.
Well, I found out the hard way when I adopted a dog. He was really good with my cats. Really good. Like freaking just it was amazing how good he was with them. The cats didn't like him, but he tried. But as soon as I would take him for a walk, as soon as he saw another dog, he turned into this like just it was crazy.
Animal
Like night
aggressive?
and day. It was so aggressive. Like
Yeah.
one time I fell on my like I literally had to grab the leash, Tom, because he was a pretty decent sized dog. Like grab the leash. I was on the ground trying to hold him back from another dog. Like I had to use all my body weight just to keep him. And I didn't know that he had that aggression against other dogs. And it just seemed to be dogs and not cats for some reason.
Yeah,
But it
no,
was
yeah, I believe it.
it was scary.
And
Like
let me
because
tell you
he
too, another thing too, aggressive dogs get out. I don't care how careful you are, whether it's a tornado and it hits a tree and the tree hits a fence, and before you know it, he's locked onto some kid's ass a half mile away. It happens. I would not. It's such a liability to have a aggressive dog because no matter how much you try to protect it, those fuckers get out once or twice a year,
the
somehow, some way.
he never got out, but like and he was good with little kids, everything. But for some reason, it was just weird. The most gentlest, nicest dog, even
Oh
with
yeah,
my
he was
cats.
animal aggressive. That's in a lot of pit bulls. Even when they fought pit bulls, they'd have a person in the pit. They
Hmm.
didn't give a shit about that. It's like killer whales. There's not one reported attack on a killer whale and a human being worldwide. They don't give a fuck. If you look on YouTube, there's a really good video of two kids swimming. And killer whales, if you don't know, it looks like the world's biggest shark. And these kids are swimming. Look at it on YouTube. It's like kids swimming near killer whales. It's really good. And they got, they're back there hunting fish and the tide's going out and they're getting the hell out of there. Here's these two kids swimming, just screaming, Mom, Mom. And fortunately, there was a guy watching from a long way. He said, they're not going to bother those kids. And I thought the same thing. And they swam right by them. And I bet it about give those kids heart attacks. I'll tell you another interesting thing, too. If you read studies and you talk to animal experts or just people that you know on your own, you've got to train your dogs to attack people breaking in your house. Everybody thinks that, my 120-pound Fido, if you ever came in here, you'd be mincemeat. Not true.
No, I know that for a fact because my stepfather had a dog, a German Shepherd,
Yeah.
and he
They went
trained
in there
it.
and cleaned the house out, didn't they?
He trained it to attack, but
Yeah.
only on command.
Yeah. Yep.
And I saw it firsthand, and that dog turned scared. Like all of a sudden, he said one word,
Yep.
and like that dog, but he trained it like that. So
Mhm.
like, it was very controlled. Like he never attacked
Right.
any of us.
But if you never
Never.
did that, there's plenty of examples. Pit bulls, Rottweilers, Dobermans, they go in there and they're feeding, they're cleaning your fucking jewelry drawer out while they're fucking giving the fucking Rottweiler chips and shit. You've got to train them that way. I'm sure there's an example of one somewhere you didn't.
Like,
But by and large, those mean looking dogs, and you're relying on that, a professional thief sees right through that shit. He's got a fucking pocket full of hot dogs wherever he goes.
yeah, no, this dog, but he went through like almost a year of training with him when he was a pup, like, and he showed me, like, he did it, he demonstrated, and I got scared because I thought, he was like, don't worry, it's not going to attack you. And he would say the one word, it was vicious, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden that dog freaking went
Look
crazy, like,
on YouTube some of those dogs they've trained. These
it's
fucking
freaking crazy.
things like run up the
Cop
side of a
dogs.
third-story brick building and
Yeah.
jump in the window and shit. It's like, holy shit.
But he trained it like that
Yeah.
too. But then I was
Yeah.
always nervous playing with him because I saw him
No,
in that
nope,
mode, but he never attacked me. So I
no,
would play with him,
nope,
but in
yeah,
the back of my mind,
yeah,
because
that's
I
right.
did see,
Yeah, you got to train them for that. Crazy.
yeah,
Interesting though, I think it is.
dogs are smart.
Yeah, dogs are smart. Yeah, they
You got
really
to get
are.
them trained. That's for sure.
Yeah, isn't that crazy, Tribbles? Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I think they're cool, man, how dogs have evolved and stuff too. how there's so many varieties in
And
the,
they
the
all
way
have,
they've changed their appearance. Yeah,
and they're all,
German. Yep, that's right. Wow. Look at hunting dogs too. Don't get scared by the sound of the gun
yeah.
and these dogs like during the war. Crazy. All bombs and stuff going off and they're still listening to commands. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, I think.
What was the dog? What breed dog is the ones where they trained to do sleds, to pull sleds?
Oh, Huskies?
Huskies, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the ones.
Anybody I ever knew had one of those, they were problems. It's not like a good in-house dog.
They're like more like a sporting dog.
Yeah,
more
like,
football.
gun ho, like those. Those healers, those blue healers. A lot of Amish had those where I lived. They had them doing all sorts of shit, following them walking down the street with no leash. And it's crazy.
Well, one of my neighbors, he had a dog. It was a lab, but he would walk it around the block without a leash. Didn't have any problems.
Oh,
It's all about training, folks.
yeah, training. I mean, there's places like people like movie stars and stuff send these dogs are gone for like 6 months, cost like 25 grand or something. They come back and they're like fully trained.
I mean, training, it's not that hard to train a dog. I mean, most of the time, the trainers are training the owners to how to take control of the dog to train it properly.
Yeah, like that guy on TV, that Spanish guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I saw that show a couple times
Yeah.
where you go and you train, but like a lot of the times you just, it's training the owners too.
Yeah, no, probably
So,
is. Yep. Yeah.
but I've seen it. I've seen it a bunch of times. I have a friend who trains dogs
Oh,
and it works, but it takes some time.
yeah,
But
right.
you
Yeah.
said 6 months, right? They send their
Yeah.
dogs away for 6 months. That's
Yep.
crazy.
Wild.
Let's
So,
see.
does anybody know the final score on those football games?
Which one's on tonight?
He was saying that Kansas City was playing earlier.
Oh, okay.
Not that big of a. I don't really care about it that much anymore. I don't really watch sports at all like I used to. January's a crappy month anyway for sports.
What's your team?
I don't really have one. I've already dropped off. Boxing's went to hell. MMA, that's even getting kind of weak. I can't get myself to watch an NBA game any longer.
Hmm.
Especially the whole thing. It's just so boring, man. I'd rather watch like college.
You're a college fan?
Yeah, not big time though. I mean, if it's on, I'll watch part of it. I'm always doing something else while I'm trying to watch it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I think I'm going to sign off here. Take a shower. Try and get up at a decent hour tomorrow. Well, thanks for coming on.
all right. You're welcome. Bye, you
Party on.
guys.
You breaking bread with your Lord and Savior tomorrow?
I do have some bread, but I'm breaking it with probably some seagulls or ducks.
Oh, no church.
No church tomorrow morning.
Okay. Well, JMO, you take care. Chris, Drifter, Tribbles, LA, Rita. You guys have a good day tomorrow. You party on. Where's old Kropka tonight? Is he probably doing one of his own, isn't he? Good for him. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.